Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to today's Advisicon Academy training. My name is Leslie Pfau. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Advisicon. We are a group of authors, teachers, consultants, and technologists offering training in Microsoft technologies, project management, and methodology. With attending any of our training sessions, we offer PDUs as we are a registered education provider with a Project Management Institute. At the close of today's session, I'll give you some instructions on how to claim your PDUs and how to contact Advisicon for any questions you may have. Now, before we get started, I'd like to go over a few things so you know how to participate in today's event. Please review the control panel that should be on the top right of your screen. The audience is muted during this session, so in order to ask questions, you'll need to submit them in the questions window of the control panel. The webinar will be recorded and uploaded on the Advisicon YouTube channel for those who could not attend today's session live. Please note that any questions or comments submitted will not display in the recording, nor will any of your personal information be shared. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's instructor, one of Advisicon's project advisors, Maria Fenn. So without further ado, I'll hand this presentation over so we can get started.
Hi everyone, as Leslie said, my name is Maria. I'm a project advisor here at Advisicon. I've been here for almost a full year now. I have a background in project management. I'm a Microsoft certified professional, and I am really excited to get to share with you about Microsoft To Do. So let's just jump right in. Today's agenda, purpose. So what I'm going to be going over today is kind of the purpose of To Do, what its goal is for you, also how you as a project manager can have use of To Do. Also, something that would be very important would also be how to use To Do, and then customizing it to your needs and look preferences. So, and I do want to make some time today to have any questions, especially since this is one of our, I think this is our first webinar where this is mainly about To Do. So I want to leave some time for questions today. So what we're going to do is we're going to just jump right in. I'm going to open my To Do session. I've got the demo up here for Sarah Davis. So this is the interface for To Do. So this is going to be your main page that you'll first see when opening it up. You'll have My Day. So what To Do, the purpose of To Do is kind of is to focus on the individual. We have lots of tools that are like Planner, we've got Project, we've got those tools that are meant for project management. They're a little more robust, whereas To Do is intended to focus on the individual. It's meant to help you. So there's a lot of tasks that have to go into projects, project schedules for us to keep track and manage as project managers, but there are a lot of little tasks that kind of slip through the cracks. So what To Do does here is it provides you an easy way to keep track of kind of those smaller tasks that might potentially slip through the cracks or just take too much time to add to your schedule, where this provides a simple solution to just keep track of all of those smaller tasks that don't necessarily need to go into any of those project schedules. So as I'm going to actually kind of rearrange this a little bit and start off with how to use To Do first off, and go through each of the sections here today. So when you open up To Do, you're going to first notice this My Day screen. This My Day screen is kind of the main interface of To Do. It's meant to accumulate all of the tasks that you have to do today, Wednesday, December 4th, tomorrow, etc. So as you'll notice here, we have to the left of the screen, we have all of these other taskbars that we're going to be getting to in just a bit. We've got each of these tasks that I already have, and then also another feature of To Do is they provide suggestions with a list of all of your tasks of what else you should add today. So this little light bulb here gives you suggestions of what you could potentially add to your schedule today. So say you've got your day going on, you've got this in the upper left-hand corner, you could potentially have this task here. Go ahead and add a new task. So we are going to add a task for today. For example, I need to create a new list in To Do. That's how you would add a new task. And so that adds tasks to your day. But you also have other tasks that are in other lists and other sections that are what are listed here in this Today section that you could add. And how you would add these tasks are these little plus buttons. So if I have this task that is due Thursday, September 19th, create a new project view for project managers. So say I need to get that done because it was intended to be done around September 19th. I'm going to go ahead and hit that plus sign. It is now added to my day, and that is how you would continue to both accumulate tasks in your day, both through the today section as well as adding tasks manually. There's more sections though. As you can see, these tasks, they didn't just pop up on their own. We're going to go into the important section. What important is it's all of the tasks that are marked important, obviously. But how that happens is when people assign you tasks in Planner, they have the option to mark items as important. So any tasks that somebody maybe have assigned to you or you had assigned to yourself and had marked them important would be placed in here through To Do, because To Do has a lot of integration with Planner. So if I'm going to go ahead and pull up that Planner board that some of these are connected with, and so you can get a little bit of visual of how that works. So I'm going to just pull up my screen. There we go. So one of the boards that has tasks for Sarah Davis, the demo user, is the webinar demo. This is for demand and capacity planning. So you might have noticed on the other screen that some of these tasks, like the make a PB&J sandwich, that they are associated with the webinar demo 365 demand and capacity planning. So this here is referring to the planner board that the task has been assigned from. So if we go back, we can actually find that task. You'll see right here, make a PB&J sandwich. So To Do has a lot of integration with both Planner and Outlook, and so it allows you to better keep track of your daily tasks that you have to do. So we're going to go back, and if you'll notice in Planner, there's 5 things on my checklist. We've got a start date, due date, priority, urgent. All of this information you can actually see. So if I go ahead and click that task, there's the title, make a PB&J sandwich, is the overall task that I could mark complete. Or since I have all of these other items that were included in the planner board, I can start marking those off one by one. So I went ahead and bought the bread, peanut butter, and my favorite jelly flavor, which I actually don't have any, so I wouldn't buy jelly. But after that, get the bread bag, remove the 2 slices, you start the process of making the sandwich, and as you progress, you'd be able to check off each of those items. So there's a lot of integration between planners. So that's what these are for. These are all tasks that, if you notice, this one's marked urgent, there's also important. So those tasks are what would come up in the important section here. And you can actually, and excuse me. So also you'll notice, so I'm going to point out, notice these, now that I've marked 2 of these complete, these are marked 2 out of 5 complete here. With a task that has multiple items that are checked off, you do need to check off the top one to mark it 100% complete. Just a little tidbit there so you guys are aware. After important, we have items that are in planned. Planned are all of the tasks that are assigned to you that have a due date, that have some form of due date. So this actually takes all of the tasks that are assigned to you, whether it's from your My Day, important, whether it's assigned to you, which we'll cover in a minute, or flagged emails and tasks, even down to these lists down here. All of these tasks have a due date, which is why they're in planned. And it maps it out for you of how many tasks you have currently in your list that have due dates, when they need to be done. This gives you the opportunity to kind of look at your week with what you already have in your to-do tasks and say, maybe I don't need to invite guests for a holiday party this Friday. Maybe I can get that done to tomorrow. So by clicking the tasks, you open the view and you can go ahead and see this due date here of Friday. I don't really think that's going to suit. Maybe I'll take care of that. I can just pick a date, go to Monday, save. It's now due Monday. So if I went ahead and did that with one of the tasks, for example, purchase decorations, you'll notice this is also connected to a planner board. This says Planner Best Practices Demo. And the reason I know is it says it's connected to a planner board is also because it says open in planner. Not all of the other tasks are going to be associated because, for example, you'll see that complete my timesheet at the very top has this little comment that it's from my day, which is not a planner board. It's the task section up here. And I know that for sure because also when I open the task, it doesn't say open in my planner board. So going back to the purchase decorations from the best planner best practices, if I wanted to change the date for that as well or remove it, I can absolutely do that and it will take it out of the options for planned. But instead, I'm actually going to move that date to today. It'll update the planner board as well. So if we went to planner board best practices, here, where's purchase decorations, you'll notice that the due date is changed here as well. So open to do back up. So we'll cover a little bit more of the details of this as we continue. I'm going to move on to assigned to you. So assigned to you are all of the tasks from Planner that have been assigned to you, whether you did it yourself or somebody else did it. And these are all of the tasks that are from Planner. We'll click each one. You'll see open in Planner, open in Planner, open in Planner. And this is where you could update those tasks. Now, I personally like the view of my day better, so what I would do is take the thank you gifts and add it to my day to go back to my day and then see what tasks I have to do. It's a easier view for you to kind of comprehend, especially when you're on the go, which is kind of what this is for, is like, oh, I have to do this. I need to get this done by the end of the day. You don't want to take the time to really throw it in your schedule because it's kind of a small detail. So you just throw it in your to-do for my today, whether you're adding a task here or it's something that's already been assigned to you, you can just move it to my day and have that easier view. So going back to, actually, we're going to move on to flagged emails. So I mentioned a little earlier that To-Do has some integration with Outlook. Outlook has the option, as I'm sure you guys are aware, to flag emails. So I'm going to open up Sarah Davis's email here, and you'll notice that these emails are flagged. So I can check mark it complete. This is Outlook Online. You can flag emails in your desktop as well, and it will do the same thing. This one's marked complete, but I'm going to keep it flagged. You'll see that these 3 emails that I sent Sarah Davis have a flag on them. So if we go back to Microsoft To Do, you'll notice that those 3 emails are right here, one of which I just marked complete. This one has not updated yet. There we go. Now it's marked incomplete. So these 3 emails are here. And if I wanted to, I could add a due date. I could go ahead and add these to my day. This gives you this makes your email process a little faster. For example, if you have an email that you don't need to respond to right at this moment and you just flag it, then you can go back to your flagged email, say, this is what I need to get to today, add it to your day, and add a due date for the remaining ones. You can, for example, I don't need to get to the project plan today. So instead, I'll add a due date and for tomorrow, and I'll work on that tomorrow and then have it completed. And it will give you reminders. To Do provides reminders when a task is due. So it's both in your Outlook as well as a pop-up reminder in the upper right-hand corner of your monitor. And then, so lastly, we have tasks. So tasks is an accumulation of all of your tasks that are not necessarily related to flagged emails assigned to you or important. It's kind of a catch-all for tasks. It also doesn't count for anything that's in these lists down here. You'll notice that the only things below the title of the task is, for example, my day, or the fact that it has a note attached to it. So I'm going to use this opportunity to kind of go a little deeper into just kind of point out a few things in the more information about a task. So I've got this new task that I started in the beginning of the webinar, create a new list in To Do. It's in my today. It's in my day. I'm going to do create a new list in To Do, add 5 tasks. Just like before when we noticed in Planner that there were checklists in tasks assigned to Sarah Davis, you can also add more tasks to those checklists. So I can add 5 tasks, I can customize the list. And I can continue to add items to this list for me to do related to this one task. Also, you can ask for reminders, when to be reminded. So if I wanted this to give me a reminder just in a little bit, I can go ahead and pick a time. So today I'm going to pick, let's see if I can get a reminder in the next few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and say I want a reminder 12:18 p.m. today. And it should give me one in just a minute. Then you can proceed to add a due date. You can also add repeats. So if we go back to kind of my day tasks, and you'll see I have complete my timesheet and it has the word today on it. And the reason it has today on it is because it has a daily repeat. I need to take care of my timesheet daily. That's not something I want in a project plan. That's just something I need a reminder to do. So I have a daily reminder from to do to check off that I completed my timesheet today. And it will come up each time after it's done. So there should be, so this would then come up with a new complete my timesheet tomorrow. So that way I would have a reminder each day to get that done. Same goes for reviewing my emails. And it'll come up with a new one tomorrow. Back to the catch-all of tasks, we're going to go create a new list in to-do. So you also can attach files to these. So if you wanted to, you could attach files. You can also add notes. A cool feature in to-do is you can associate tasks using hashtags. So if I wanted to, if we'll go down to get Scott's birthday card signed, notice there's a hashtag birthday in the note. So I can associate tasks across the lists and across sections using hashtags. So the benefit of this is now that when I click this hashtag birthday, both tasks that are associated with birthdays that I added the hashtags to now pop up for me to get a quick peek into. So I have a task to make sure everyone signs a birthday card for Molly, and then I have a task to make sure everyone gets Scott birthday cards signed too. Next we have, these are lists. So these are custom lists I added. If you are brand new to do, you're not going to have any of these lists available to you. So this is my group of client lists. This is my group of internal lists. You can hide, you can show them, whatever you need for better visibility. And this is where it comes in, and it's very applicable to project managers because everybody can use to-do. It's great for each individual user. But as a project manager, you've got a lot of different things you are managing, more likely more than one project at a time. So how I would recommend at organizing to-do to be better for you is to kind of separate different individual lists so that you can better keep track of what you have to do each day. And how you would do that is by having groups and having lists. For example, how we have here, I'm separating each client in its own individual list, and I've grouped that under this group of client lists. And I've done the exact same thing for my internal projects. How you would do this is you would add a new group by clicking this button. So this is my new group. And then you can add a new list. You can see it pops up, new list 1. And then what I can do is drag and drop. And dragging and drop is a great new feature that has been added for to-do. So if I went back to my tasks, I can actually drag, say I just added a bunch of tasks and realized, you know what, this could be a source associated with a new list instead of just having them all in my task section. I'll, for example, do this birthday one. So I can actually take Get Scott's birthday card signed and drag it to the new list here and move it. You can do that across everything except assigned to you and planned. So don't think you can do flagged emails either, but you can drag to my day, you can drag to tasks, you can drag to any of these client lists here and have better organization of what you need to do today. And then once all of these tasks are in your to-do, again, they're going to pop up in this recommendation here of today of what you should add to your day. So another thing about To Do is the fact that they have an app for your phone. So you as a project manager are not always at your desk. Sometimes you're running around trying to get things done, and sometimes you need to keep track of all the things you have to do that are getting thrown at you, but you're also running around and not at your computer to write these down or put them in your To Do. So To Do has an app for phones. This is my phone right now. This is the app. I've got mine in dark mode. This would actually come up in white. I just need this for seeing better. But you'll see it has all of the same features that we had originally in my To Do online. So I have to remember to scroll with my hand. But you'll see there's also my new group, the new list I just added. I can move tasks. So if I wanted to take my backlog tasks, I can say, for example, vacuum the office. I can actually move that. So if I'm holding down on it till it highlights, then I'm going to click this little ellipses in the upper left-hand corner and move the task. I can move it, for example, to PMO team. And you can use this at any time. You can also add a new list. You can add a new group. All of this is available to you. If I go into my day, I could then have the ability to add new tasks as I go, and it's there and easy to use. So all I did was press that plus button. Now I've got to add a new task. So new task 1, done. Now I have it on my to-do. And then I can just throw in tasks as they come and not have to worry about reorganizing them until later. And then I could just take a few minutes, see all the tasks that I've added, reorganize it a little bit to fit in the right list, or just leave it there in today since that's where it belongs. I can also set a due date, I can set a remind me, and I can set a repeat. It's a very easy to use interface with To Do. You can also add and remove the list, rename the groups, etc. All of the same features are available to you here. Going back to the application on the desktop, just a fun couple little customization features. You can change your backgrounds. You don't have to stick, so the generic backgrounds are going to be just simple colors. For example, this is the background for important. I can customize each one of them though by hitting this 3 ellipses up here and choosing one of these options. You can't choose your own photos or custom backgrounds right now, but these are the options you have available to you, and they're very cool pictures. Some of them are very, very interesting to look at in a very positive way. And for example, you have the beach here, that's beautiful, or if you just like colors, that's fine too. And you can change the colors that you feel are more applicable for what you want to see. Another fun little customization tidbit is you can add these icons here to your to-do list to kind of personalize each one. You'll notice I have a coffee cup for the backlog tasks, a little earth for the PMO tasks, and you can add that by clicking the list, and you can click the title. You'll see there's this smiley face for adding emojis. And you have all of these emojis that you can add to kind of just spice it up a little bit. So for example, I'm gonna add, burger. Burger sounds good. We're gonna add a burger for client 2. And this lets you kind of personalize the to-do a little bit. And as you saw earlier, those things transfer over to the phone application, and you can add those in the phone application as well. Lastly, before we hop into questions, I do want to bring up that you can work with groups. So for example, I'm going to head to the PMO team here. The PMO team is actually a shared task list that I have here. So you'll notice I've got Sarah Davis assigned to these tasks. That's me here. But then also I've got Michael Rimmer. So you'll see Michael's assigned to this one task. You can only do these in groups that you choose to share all of them in. So we've got 3 users in here. I've got Dave Bentz as well. And you can only assign 1 task per person. So I can't have more than one person on this task. I can either choose Dave, or I can choose Michael or Sarah and assign it to myself. And so that that's kind of the where it limits a little bit, because it is supposed to be for each individual user. This isn't meant to be managing all of your projects in one thing. It's meant to kind of give you some versatility and integration with all of the project management applications so that you have better visibility on what you need to do today. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and open up for questions right now. Leslie, do we have any
Yes,
questions?
we actually do. We have several questions, and we'll get to as many as we can within our time frame. And the rest, obviously, we will answer individually via email. So the first question is, will TMS Teams integrate with To-Do so we can flag a chat or a conversation similar to flagging an email?
I apologize, I'm having technical
Oh, it's okay.
difficulties. Leslie, can you say that again?
Sure. Will Microsoft Teams integrate
Mm-hmm.
with To-Do so that you can flag or a chat or a conversation similar to flagging an email?
That's a really good question. I think we should follow up with that one after, because I think you can add to do as a tab in your Teams channels, but off the top of my head, I would need to talk about that a little further.
Okay. And then are there any plans to have an option to use yesterday's list as a starting point? When they asked, one downside for them that they actually have used it is that they have to recreate the list every day. Can you?
Oh, yes, because when you start a new day, your list is empty. At the moment, I do not know of any such plans, but I do know having that today feature right there helps me restart my day a little bit. It also is really good for me personally. I know it's been a bit of a struggle for the person who's asking, but it's good for me personally just because I can just take 5 minutes, look through all that I have left to do through all of those today tasks, and then pick which ones I can actually get done today. So, but as of right now, no, that's no plan that I'm aware of for that.
And that kind of rolls into another question that says, what happens tomorrow to tasks in my day that aren't completed today?
That's a really good question. Okay, so that does kind of roll with what we were just talking about. So when your new day pops up, the My Day tasks are going to be empty. There's not going to be anything here, which is why they have this little light bulb here for today. These are all of your uncompleted tasks, both recently added, earlier, later, things that needed to be done in the past or started working on. Those are what would where all of those previous tasks will be stored, and an option for you to just quickly add back by hitting these plus marks here. All you have to do is just quickly add these through, and you've got all of your tasks back.
Awesome. And then one last one. Do Outlook tasks display in To Do? And I think you talked a little bit about Outlook, but I don't know if that answers their question.
No, that's perfect. So that does allow me to kind of cover this a little more in depth. So yes, you can have visibility of your Outlook tasks in To Do. So if I were to pull up the Sarah Davis email and I chose to click, I do think that if you create one of the Outlook specific tasks, I think they're currently here you have actually To Do instead of Outlook tasks. In the desktop application, you have both. But here, if you were to choose to flag an email, that would become a task for you. In the desktop application, I think if you create the task in Outlook, it won't transfer over to Do, but if you create the task in To Do, it'll be visible in Outlook. So I'll need to follow up a little more with that one.
Okay, great. And then the last questions for sure is, can you make unfinished tasks repeatable so that they move to the next day? Is that kind of the same thing what you were just talking about?
I think that's kind of a similar situation. If I took one of my tasks, so I think we had the PB&J task that has multiple checkpoints, and I only complete 3 out of the 5, then it's still going to be an option. It's not going to be marked as complete since only a few of them are done, and it's going to just pop over back again the next day in my today column here. So anything that's not completed will pop up in this today column to add back to your day.
Excellent. I think that'll do it for today. Any other questions that come in, we will address them via email.
All right, thank you, Leslie.
You bet. So thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. We welcome your questions and feedback, as we said. For more information, you can email us at contact@advisicon.com. Once you exit today's webinar, you'll receive a survey on the presentation. You'll need to complete and submit the survey to receive your PDUs. From there, you'll receive a follow-up email within 2 business days with your PDU information. If you're watching this recording on YouTube or another social media platform, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads. On behalf of Advisicon, Maria, and myself, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you participate in future webinars. Have a great day, everyone.